Warning: if you're easily offended and can't take a joke, or have mature conversations about serious topics, please don't watch this podcast because you will have a fucking meltdown.
Saw it today, actually. You saw that car that
Yeah.
you're going to be driving. Is that yourself as well
Yeah,
driving in it, is it?
Yeah, I'll be driving it as well.
Yeah, so we want to, if we do a good job of advertising their app and loads of people download the app, which is what we ideally want, if they buy a studio for us or rent us a studio, and then eventually, if we get a good sponsor and we're making them money, they pay us, perfect. We want it, YouTube, we want to get our YouTube up and running, and we also, and just our podcast, so the podcast, the YouTube, and yeah, and hopefully get some sponsors.
Right, if you're wondering why my audio is a bit fucking shit and clipping in and out, it's because my gain setting was set a bit too fucking low, so it wasn't picking me up properly, but it's rectified during the 15-minute mark of the episode. Right, right, we'll get into it. I'll do the intro, and honestly, just relax. It's not really fucking anything mega. If you want to get serious, you can, but this is predominantly like Dits. So, want to hear about para orgies?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Welcome to the Bottom Third podcast. I'm Danny, co-host. Ricky is joining me, and Alex has died today, so he's not jumping on. If you're listening on Spotify, just bear in mind that we do some hand gestures, like I'm flipping off Ricky now, and you can't fucking hear that. So jump on YouTube because this is a video call. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like or a dislike and a fucking comment just to let us know what we could do better. Not really bothered about subscribers. I don't know why Alex is. He keeps fucking telling me get subscribers. Literally, there's no monetary value whatsoever. So if you want to subscribe, you can, but not really bothered about it. On the YouTube, there will be a video going out about the Veterans Honor Rally, and the video itself will basically explain what it is, but Ricky and Alex have been putting out a couple of videos about it. It's just a more in-depth one. At the minute, it's about 15 minutes long, and I've only got up to Tuesday edited, and obviously it's going all the way through till Sunday, so there'll be a lot of information. There'll be locations, postcodes, and stuff like that, and you can meet us on particular days, depending on the location where we are and stuff like that. Just watch the video. It'll be very informational. Message Alex on Facebook. Eh?
Informative, informational. Is that a new word? Sorry, carry on.
It is informational, right? Don't, because pluralized turned out to be a word last time I said that. I'm buzzing.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, massage Alex on Facebook. Message Alex on Facebook if you want to get on the stag list to jump on the podcast. What I will say is we're coming up to the season finale, so it'll be for season 3, but it'll be good to get names in the hat. So when we come back, probably March or whatever, I don't know, I'm just sort of like eyeballing a date now. Then we've already got names in the barrel. Cool. If you jump on the link tree, there's a top of the link tree, there's a coffee link. Jump on there, it's a donation page. It explains everything on the page, what you can and can't do to like help us out. It's basically to help us get a studio. After the season 2 finale, this is like more of a personal one. I'll be back to working a day job because I'm skint and I need to feed myself. So I'll be doing the day job. I'll be doing the skits again. And I'll be doing the rants on TikTok. So there you go. Finally, if you're a civvy or a Walt and you don't have a fucking clue, just fucking bear with it. Paras are quite fucking renowned for like orgies and stuff like that. That's quite translatable. So you'll hear a lot of good sex stories, I imagine. And to just finally, I'm doing it this way now, to finally introduce the actual guest is Ant Middleton's evil twin, Lee.
How you doing?
Quite evident he's quite proud of his regiment, but we're the True Maroon. I just thought I'd stick that in there. Ricky, have you got anything to add? No, I think that's the best intro I've ever done. I don't think I've missed out anything either. I'm buzzing. Lee, crack on with your icebreaker. We want to know when you lost your virginity, fucking how many NDs you've had, the lot.
Luckily, no NDs. So, from a place called Telford. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all.
Telford,
it's
no?
It Midlands, but I've fucking no idea. Yes, it, yeah.
So, by Wolverhampton. Yeah, so in the West Midlands, by Wolverhampton way. You can probably tell a little bit of a tinge in my voice, but I've been trying to lose the accent my whole life. Yeah, you know, it's like in the military, you just end up with like this kind of odd accent, don't you? Which is like a merge of everything all mixed together with all flipping different different words.
Your
from
home
different parts of the
accent.
country.
Your home accent mixed with the squaddies, it just goes fucking rogue, doesn't it? It's
Absolutely. So from a place called Telford, grew up there in the 1976. I was born, so I'm 47.
good bed.
So I'm old.
Oh, good for your age, lads.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's not a fucking accident. Fucking full-time job just to look moderately average these days.
Ricky, let him send as well.
So
go on, carry on.
what?
Ricky he does this thing where his ADHD jumps in and he keeps interrupting.
I feel my bad.
Let him go through his army career, all 2 years of it or whatever.
So Telford's grew up in the 80s. It's like, how old are you guys? So you probably grew up 90s, was it? I'd say 90s, early 2000s for the bottom lad.
Yeah.
So
27.
still not too bad.
A couple of days ago.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like 80s upbringing, flipping out, no parental guidance whatsoever, just out doing what the fuck you wanted basically until you come back in. No phones, out all night, fucking about, getting in trouble, climbing trees when you're a kid and fucking being stuck up there and just having to figure out how the fuck to get down. So jumping people in BMXs, flipping, fingering girls in the bushes, getting pissed on parks. You probably did all that anyway. But so great upbringing, really. Pretty dangerous place, though. I'm thinking most of the streets were. I mean, I lived in a lot of the council estates. So when I got to my teen years, you know what it's like. It's a bit dodgy. It's like danger around all the corners, isn't there? So you're on your guard a little bit. So started doing martial arts because I wanted to be able to fucking handle myself. So I got in a few sticky situations and I thought I need to be able to make sure I can flipping do something here to look after myself. So I just committed to doing that. Joined up I didn't really have much of a choice. I was just speaking to Ricky earlier. Like I'm ADHD, OCD, and dyslexic, but all diagnosed when I was in my mid-30s. I managed to have a full 8-year career in the military without anyone picking anything up. Fucking everyone's the same, aren't they? Just saying, in the military, everyone's fucking. Well, they were. I'm just saying now it's changed quite considerably. They're recruiting the kind of the wrong people, like the blocking people that have got these talents. I like to call it. Both my boys have got it as well.
Do you know what?
What's your thoughts on that, Rick?
Go on, Ricky. I've got something to add after.
I'll say it. What he said there is because I went through as well. Like I said, I was about to leave the army. It was literally 6 months before I left the army. I found out I was dyslexic. And I only found out about ADHD. And it's like, I managed just fine because no one knew. But now people would go, hang on, you're fucking sketchy as fuck. And like people used to say to me when I was in the army, they go, I did boxing for a little bit. And they went, in the boxing team? Because I went, you should be. Because I'm like, yes, I'm almost like I'm like in a ring, just being stood in the bar with you. And it was, and it can be a good trait. It's not always bad, but sadly,
it's good.
The microcritic now is a bad thing.
No, I wholeheartedly believe it's good. It's like I went on. I did martial arts anyway, quite extensively, and I was a professional. I was like, pro. I won a pro titles, but I was a fighter for 25 years, my whole adult life, from 15 to 30, 35. So a good flipping 20 years. And I'd go all around the world and I'd fight. But a lot of the fighters, they're all white. They're all the same. They're all OCD. They're all ADHD. We're wired differently. I think there's a book actually. So if I can remember the name, it's something like A Hunter in a Gatherer's World or something. And it's about ADHD, which is what it is. You're a warrior basically. You're a hunter. So you're meant to go out and scout the land and flipping and walk for miles and have pinpoint focus on something that you're totally submerged in. But you can't just sit there passively. You'd be taught at.
Yeah, so this is the thing. This is my own little theory that I've built up over like just observing people. I've not really looked into it extensively. So I don't really believe in ADHD for it being sort of like a negative attribute, if that makes sense. It's more of because I've seen lads with like I was about to say PTSD, but ADHD. There was a lad. He's a Turnbull. If you watch the skits, and in the block, he's on the cans and he's smashing shit up and he's fucking misbehaving. As soon as you put him in the field, directionally, is just like doing the exercise. He's not jumping in and out of bushes trying to scare the lads. Do you know what I mean? He's like, right, fucking tiptoe around here, crawl through this river, just off his own back. You know what I mean? Section commander's trying to send him fucking left flanking through like a gorse bush, and he's like, nah, that river's better. Like he's he's observing what he actually needs to fucking. Do you know what I mean? He's playing the game a bit. As soon as you put him in the
It's
block,
hyper. Yeah, that's it. Well, they say it's attention deficit, but I disagree. It's hyper focus,
Yeah.
what it is, but in what you're interested in. And it's an absolute disinterest in fucking anything else. You're an absolute fucking hand grenade at everything else in your life, apart from the one thing that you fucking you're obsessed with. You know, a lot of great people have.
What you're saying there is the reason I'm good at like my history and stuff. Like I'm good because I play an interest in it. Yeah, at school I could not learn for shit. Like someone tries to teach me to go 2 add 2 is 4, I'd be like, I can't get my head on that. I couldn't get my head on that. But then to teach me, you know, something about World War II, and that'll be stick with me. I'm like, that's interesting. And if you interest me with something, that's why I was good when I did my EOD. I was good at it because I was interested, and it was like, but you teach me something that's boring. It's simple as it could be. I can't learn it, but you could. If it's complicated, but I'm interested, I'm all over it, and I'll.
Yeah. Because of this as well, so I had limited choices at school. Really, do you know what I mean? I tried a couple of jobs, didn't fucking like them at all. Passed my driving test when I was 17. Had the typical kind of, what am I going to do? I've got to about 15. I knew I wanted to go in the army. But then I was like, what am I going to do? I wanted to be a PTI because I love physical stuff. But then they said, you can do that in any regiment. And then I kind of wanted to be a policeman. I thought, but then I was obsessed with like heights and the parachute and jumping out of a plane. And so I looked into the parachute regiment. I was like, what the fuck? What are these? Like, these are flipping, like, this is everything you imagine a soldier to be. And I was looking at the Marines as well. And I was like, so I wanted to be something elite. I definitely wanted to fancy myself with getting challenged. So I just kind of learned about both of them, and I figured my personality suited being a paratrooper a lot more aggressive. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to do heights, didn't give a fuck about the water, and I thought, yeah, this looks great. So the more I looked into that, the more I wanted to do it. But passed my driving test, got a job in a factory, and then started going out. And I was like, actually, do I need to do this? I can earn enough money to go out 5 times a week and have a car. I'll just do that. And I did that for, yeah, when you're 17, you're going to get your priorities right, haven't you? So I did that as well because I tried to join up and I got refused because I was too skinny. So I was like,
Really?
go away and put some weight on. Yeah, I was 64 kilo and I was 6'1". Yeah, so I was too skinny. So I just went on the piss for a bit and kind of like lost interest in the idea a little bit. Started trying to put weight on. You know, worked in a factory called Epson that makes printers. Fucking, that's the hardest job I ever fucking did. Like 8-hour days, putting a printer together, doing about 2 minutes worth of stuff in 50 seconds. Then the line would move, and it's always stopping, and some dinner lady in charge of the line coming and telling you off and that, and then you'd do another 4 hours because you could get time and a half. You'd net nearly your day's wage, so you'd be working from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night. But then you had enough money to go out and pay for your car, but it was so hard that when I actually joined the army, it was easy. It felt because I wanted to do it, and that was just horrendous to be in that environment.
Something like the dinner lady that was shouted at you.
I've got a question, mate, because obviously the parachute regiment's got a very big stigma, and I've even watched Americans do documentaries on the British parachute regiment, and they always have the same sort of like outline where they talk about the training and how you get trained to hate everything, even regiments within the British Army. Like literally, a Yank was saying this, and I was like 3 years in the fucking British Army at this point. I was like, this guy fucking is nailed it on the head. But what was your sort of like reality? So when you joined, it's like all of a sudden you got to hate everything.
Everyone, A company hates B company though, and then like, and one power hates B power. They don't hate, but they're like, you ask someone from 2 power, they go 2 power is better. That's 3 power, they go 3 power is way better. 2 power is shit. Yeah. Like that's A company is shit, B company are best, support company are best. Even if you're in the platoons, or 1 platoon's better. No, 2 platoon, like
one section's
better. 2 platoons. Everyone.
I've always said that, right? Within the military, you'll never hear a para say, "Oh yeah, good lads." Then it's literally, like I say, your section's better than the other section. It's the rivalry is that big between the paras. You literally hate fucking everyone who isn't even. You probably even hate the fucking lad in your section because he's not you. It's like it's
there's a real strong brotherhood. When I say that, that's like tongue in cheek. That's all like, it's all banter and that. There is what they have got is real strong brotherhood within it, more so than any other unit around the world I've ever met. You speak to people that are in the Navy SEALs, in the Marines. I've got a lot of mates in the Marines, and they go, yeah, there's a brotherhood, but what the paras have is just fucking like a cult. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And I've done it. I've gone on holidays with the family, fucking got me reg tat out, bumped into another bloke who spotted you, then ended up out in the piss till 5 a.m. with him, fucking getting in trouble with your missus because you're meant to be there with your family. It's just, you can meet anyone, anywhere. And I've met, when I was on a cruise earlier this year, I met an Italian paratrooper because I had short sleeve top on, I think. What did I do? But I had a t-shirt on. I come back from the gym, I had my top on, and he came over and just tapped me and then showed me his tattoo, we were just chatting. So it's a universal international brotherhood. But yeah, you are taught from day one, like, that you are different, like you're totally different. We do different. But what the standards are here, this is what's expected from you, and everyone else is crap hats and this shit. And the blokes are brainwashed. It's not till you've been in a few years and you've been on a couple of courses and you go, they're all right. Some of these lads are all right. Like you'll never normally. The paras will be all right when you speak to them separately, but if you get them together, they ain't going to they'll probably just fuck you off and not talk to you.
I've met paras, right, while I've been serving, and they've always been fucking, like, no, I respect them and everything, but they've always been fucking, like, assholes to a degree, as in treat you like a prick, which, rightly so, fair enough. But whenever I've met a veteran para, they've always been sound. So, like, once you've grown up and you realise afterwards, you're like, hang on, we've all got a job to do and whatever. And I've got quite a few ex-para friends who are sound as a pound, but the ones when you're serving, literally, they'll speak to you, but they're still as that, like, you're still a fucking crapper.
Yeah, you'll speak to you, but you're different, and they're not. Yeah. And they're gonna keep reminding you as well.
Do you know what?
It's probably how.
It's fucking weird because the person that sold my first car, which I still have to this day, was an ex-para. The only reason he sold me that car cheaper, like an APR rate, was because I was still in the military at the time. So he's sort of like, paras aren't all bad, but it was quite funny how he actually ended up leaving. So he has got PTSD, and it's fair enough. So when he did his jump, his fucking rifle got stuck in the door. So his parachute didn't pull, and he was in the door.
Overhead? Was he jumping overhead assault or something then with a weapon? Because your weapon's normally strapped to your Bergen. You see, I'm not. But there's different levels of you can jump at different levels of what's the correct word? Threat. Do you know what I mean? So like normally you'll jump with your Bergen and your weapons it's all sealed and strapped to the side of your Bergen and out of the way. But then you can jump in certain. Like with webbing, I think there's even one with webbing and your weapon like fucking down by your side. But I never did anything really other apart from the regular one. Because
how's it changed over the years? Because I'm pretty sure this guy's an SLR Dits sort of man. So I don't know what SLRs. So he would have had an SLR when he jumped.
Oh yeah, ages ago then. Yeah, years.
Yeah, so I obviously I don't know what it would have been like, but he did say his SLR got stuck in the door. It was a it's a big weapon.
But yeah, when it was 5 Airborne Brigade, anyway, there was way more jumps, and they would have probably, I don't know, because I was served in 5 Airborne Brigade, but I was in the Parachute Regiment, when 5 Airborne Brigade was around, in Aldershot, but I was in 3 Para, so we were out of the role, we were in Dover, so, but 1 and 2 Para did massive battalion jumps, and I'm sure they would have done it at different levels of...
Personally, for me, it makes sense to strap your weapon away purely because your weapon is a piece of fucking lump of metal. If you've got near your face and you fucking land wrong, it's going to take your fucking face off and you're a casualty before you begin. And it's like my mate Dave Watson, he's triple amputee. He stepped on IED, obviously by mistake, and he was carrying the mini-me and it came up, smashed his fucking face clean off. And he said he looked down and he just seen his arm was hanging off. He said all his teeth and that were just fucking all down his fucking front of his body armor, and like his weapon, it came up and just fucking bounced off his face. He said it felt like in school and a mite of football hits you in the face.
Yeah, that stinks.
He said it felt like that, like a full whack when you get a fucking leather football in the face.
Oh, worse. Well, there is something worse. That he didn't drop the weapon, did he?
No, he didn't drop the weapon. He kept the weapon. His arm fell off. His face fell off and his arm fell off, but he kept control of the weapon.
Yeah,
but no, it's interesting. Yeah, it's just interesting, like the way the parachute regiment mentality is not the parachute itself, obviously.
The parachute.
Yeah.
But we still need to get onto the nitty gritty of the what age and where and with who did you lose your virginity, and that's what we need to know.
Oh, fucking hell.
Was it with
your mum, I
another
think.
parachute? Was it with another parablock?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. You lose your virginity when you get support company.
He just said you lose it to the battalion. He lost his virginity to the battalion.
The
They went
full
through
battalion. To your mum. That's
They
brilliant.
did,
That. Do you know what?
Went through.
They did a Martha on you.
Martha.
Sorry.
Oh, man. Right, have you got her
Did you say
fucking
Martha?
comms details?
You must
'Cause
have a com.
we need to try and get her on this podcast.
I think she's still out and about in Colchester. The bloke's here. Apparently, I'd seen something else of her somewhere back in Meveril Barracks, but with the other squad, 9 squad, I think it was.
There was an engineer end to end. Hope you're better than them para lads, them limp dick paras, and it's like holding some fucking engineer's dick.
Yeah. She likes it up there, doesn't she? But I think she have an OnlyFans.
She went famous, and you know what? I think them para lads, were going on tour to Kosovo, and the tour got cancelled because they went through a fucking slag. What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
That was just a standard fucking night in the block. But however, phones, people, what are they doing? People keep grassing themselves up with these fucking phones. Get some games sorted, like turn them off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't. That's the thing with media now. People have to film everything. Like, who the fuck leaked that video? Because for me personally, it's obvious. If I send it now, I trust Alex and I trust Danny. But like, the minute you send it to your best mate back home, first thing he's going to do when you got some paralad hanging out the back saluting whilst doing a bird and all fours, of course they're going to share that on.
Yeah. And you could mass send to all your contacts and stuff, couldn't you?
Yeah.
The one person you send it to is your best mate, sends it to his best mate, who sends it to his best mate, and it just goes on, and the chain goes on, and before you know it, you're in the Daily Mail. Fucking.
That's it. in jump for fucking rape or fucking something, do you know what I mean? When
that's the worst one.
Just been blown over and just, it was reciprocal, innit? But things are changing, aren't they now? Not for the better. Does anyone else feel like they're being constricted by laws, like slowly pulled in and restricted with what we were able to do? Or is that just me?
I'm scared of commenting now. Like, I'm scared of doing videos now in case I'm going to get done for offending. I'm scared now that if I offend Keir Starmer, that I'm going to go to jail.
That's the main one. He's really locking down on it.
I know, yeah. Been in Nick forever. They're changing the rules, the social media rules as well, apparently, aren't they, to protect people from hate speech and calling it terrorism. If it comes to misogyny and blasphemy, yeah. Fucking hell.
Right, so
we used to call it.
Yeah.
Well, here's one for you. I've just read a story today about a woman, right? She was 36.
Before you crack on, Ricky, are we really going to go down this political route? Because we did decide we're not going to do this.
Well, shut up. My bad.
Because we're all about this.
Shut down.
Yeah. Politics are fun, but it's just a nightmare to edit it out. Virginity.
Right. Tell us your virginity.
Yeah. How did you lose it?
In a flat in Ketley with a girl called Vicky.
That's the most boring. All right.
A girl or a boy?
Girl. She was a girl. Yeah. Me a girl.
Fair enough.
But anyway, ended up joining up the parachute regiment at 18. I got reweighed when I went back the next time, and I put about 4 pairs of jeans on, fucking loads of stuff in my pockets. So I was over the limit. Passed prac. Started my training in December, 5th of December, 1994, and did 2 weeks. Had Christmas leave for 2 weeks, and then went back and started day one again. Day one, week one was like, fuck's sake. So we had a 2 week, and we got fucking thrashed from the off. It's changed a little, somewhat now, the way that they do with the army, but it was literally from the off. Within the first PT session we had was, I think it was the second day or the third, I can't remember. First day is admin, sorting stuff, briefs, you know what it's like. And then we did a 3 mile steady state. Remember it said on there, I thought sound fucking wasn't. We just got thrashed. All your normal stuff, you know what I mean? When you're in squadded runs, sprint grenades for about fucking half an hour on this field. It had been snowing. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is fucking horrendous. And was doing, then we had a couple of hard gym sessions where you're getting thrashed. I remember we played what's it called, Space Invaders, but with medicine balls. We had to like, go, No, we're getting medicine balls and fucking throwing us at them until obviously we'd all gone out. Hit one of the recruits in the leg, and later he ended up having a bad injury from it and actually ended up getting out. But he was that was an excuse. I think he rocked up with a parachute regiment tattoo on day one, week one. Fucking out the staff, he got absolutely grilled. So he went home on the 2 weeks at Christmas, got it covered over, but they already knew at that point then, and he was
too late, innit?
Yeah, too late. So went through all the training. Did P Company in the spring, summer. Passed out in July. Went to 3 Parrot, based at Dover, at Connaught Barracks at the time. It was great. A few years down there on the AMFL role. So we were doing the Arctic roles. We're going to Norway, ice breaking drills and fucking skiing, and that's months. Was there for did 3 Norways, 3 months long. The second one was, we did 6 weeks. 6 weeks in you're in a block at the weekend, and you go on exercise in tents for 5 days and come back in for 6 weeks. Then we caught a ferry right up north, and then the last 6 weeks we're in a tented camp, and then went out on exercise from there. So it was fucking hard, pretty hard. I know you see all the other regiments have got showers, and so every now and again, every 2 weeks or so, would go to one of the hats. They said, right, we're off to the hats units, and we'd go and have a shower, and they're there every day. That's where where they are, and they've got fucking proper food and hot food, and we go, oh, look at these fucking wankers, fucking hat bastards. And then after a bit, I was like, man, it's quite good there, isn't it? I'm going there a little bit often, but you're that brainwashed. When you see anyone having fun or joy, you're like, you fucking weak bastard. Look at you, pathetic. You should be prison it out like us with nothing.
So, were you in when it changed to a Special Forces Support Group or not?
No, so I can't remember the exact date of it, but my brother was in 1 Para. So my brother and my cousin were both 1 Para at the same time as me. So my brother joined up about a year after. He was an officer. He was a captain, and he was actually on Op Barras as well, which was Sierra Leone. When that kicked off.
Yeah.
So, and he was 2IC for the company. He was only 23. So he was a really young captain. He was 23. He just came in as 2IC. That happened. So they went to support the Parachute Regiment, went to 1 Para, supported the SAS on that mission. And it all went perfectly, apart from the OC got hit with shrapnel, literally, when they got there. So my brother had to take over command of the whole thing and got the MC for it. And it was because of that. It was because of that mission, really, that SFSG was born, because they just did cut-offs, didn't they, to basically hold everyone else back, so the SES can just do their job and go in there, get the hostages, and just put the Paras on the outside to just fucking kill anyone that would come near, which is what they're best at, And it worked. I actually spoke to Phil Campion. I did.
We're in touch with him.
I did his podcast about a year and a half ago, and he was on that op as well, and he said they did a really good job. It was great to have the Paras there. Know that no one else is coming in. You just got to focus on kind of what's there. So SFSG was, I think, really was kind of born from that. And that I can't remember the exact year, but I think it was my brother was in. It was changing, and he was in when he stayed in for a few years after me. But it might have been when I can't remember if I was out at that point, or if it was just changing over. As I got out, Paras went to 16 Air Assault Brigade. It was 5 Airborne Brigade. They just switched off, moved to Colchester, but they weren't in the new camp that hadn't been built yet. But I'd been posted to Lichfield. I was a PTI because the Paras training used to be Phase 1 at Lichfield, Phase 2 at Catterick. So the Phase 1 training I was the PTI for there then. So and that's only half an hour from Telford. So I was setting up myself, getting ready to transition over.
Talking about PTIs, in Harrogate, my PTI was Corporal Clegg. He was my PTI.
Oh, Lee Clegg.
Yeah, man. Because he got jailed because he basically shot someone. Someone went through the VCP, turned around, shot them in the back. It was a drink drive, a joyriding. And so he got released, but they said he could never go on tour again. So they put him basically as a recruit. We were all scared of him because imagine he was a parachute regiment, PTI, and he'd been to jail. So we're all like that. We'd all be talking. As soon as he ran, we'd be like, fucking, it was, mate, we braced up when we seen him.
So, right, I've got a thing as well. I'd just like to say, like, your language and your demeanour is sort of like what every infantry regiment should be. I get that it's probably was like born in the parachute regiment, and I can agree with you that the parachute regiment takes it a little bit too far when it comes to depot, doing like 20-mile fucking tabs, no fag breaks. That's fine, but it's just, it annoys me how the army sort of transitioning into this era of woke. And obviously, when you've got someone like you are intimidating. Like, I'll put it to you like that. You are an intimidating. Like, your demeanor is like out there. Like, just with the language of like, we was on the cutoffs and we were just there to basically kill. That language is infantry language, and I can appreciate that. I was, again, not to get political. This is more army politics. Like, if you're looking at joining the army, sort of don't think that the parachute regiment is the only set of infantrymen that can behave like this. Sort of thing. There you go, recruiting.
No,
for
we
the
are.
army.
We are. So remember, we're elite. That means we class ourselves as the best of something. We are infantrymen, but we're high level. That's what we like to class ourselves as. People go, "Oh, you only do P company."
Literally,
you don't do
high level, and you jump out of planes.
Yeah. There you go. But it's not that. It's regimental pride, pride in yourself, and your ability to give 100% absolutely on everything. Have pride to be trying into, like, if you go on a course and you're a paratrooper, you're expected to do really well and be like nominated for, best student, distinction, or whatever it is, and you've got that pride whenever you go. There are some really good lads in all the infantry regiments, as there are all over the British Army as well. There is more regimental pride in the parachute regiment, so you get a bigger amount of that within there. And like you said, soldiers should be alpha, should be strong, should be tough. Paratroopers are everything I imagined soldiers would be. And I got in the army and I thought most of them aren't like that. They're just like a stereotype of what I expected from a soldier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like we said, and we were discussing earlier, me and Ricky were talking about the army are now like any criminal offences, you're fucking not getting in. So my son's mate just got knocked back. ADHD, you might get in, but my son got knocked back. ASD, even if it's mild, they say there's chances you can, but they changed the policy again in 2016 and made it even stricter to get in. And OCD, all of the things that make you a little bit quirky and a little bit more, I wouldn't say really on the spectrum, but you're kind of borderline in it, and really do make you obsessive compulsive. And all the good soldiers are obsessive compulsive, aren't they? And a little bit fiery, a little bit aggressive, a little bit naughty, a bit of a maverick. You're going to break the rules. We say, well, you're super disciplined as a soldier. You go, yeah, but I'm finding the fucking quickest route to do whatever I've got to do. And I'm going high tolerance to risk, which I'm going to take if I can get something done. And don't get fucking caught, dear. That is the crime.
Yeah, that is the crime.
So you need that kind of maverick spirit. But it's a bit, I think what they're doing now is, like you said, with the woke agenda, they're trying to, they're almost picking from a different pool of people. You know what I mean? And then they're trying to make the training more progressive. I'm actually in the parachute regiment again now. I got out for like flipping 18 years, joined back up at 45, as I did 8 years. All my memorabilia here, I got out, all got in boxes. When I had a few Reg t-shirts for a couple of years, they all wore out. Didn't have any Reg t-shirts. I'd like literally that part of my life had gone. And I started a martial arts chain of martial arts schools. Built that to be the biggest chain of martial arts schools in the UK. Opened over 200 locations. Thank you very much. Teaching thousands of people around the country. Putting veterans in work as well. Put them through my 5-day selection course. Mentor them. Got 100% success rate as well with all our guys that we bring through. And we just we dominate an area. We go in and we literally prepare it. My whole book, I've written a book as well, haven't I? It's all based around military structures and organisations and analogies, all based around my organisation, which is called British Military Martial Arts. So I threw myself into this when I come out. and started making way more money than I'd ever earned as a paratrooper. And so and that gave me a set of why and a sense of purpose. So I was okay. A lot of guys come out, even, you say people suffer from PTSD, and a lot of the time, even guys that haven't gone into hard battle can really suffer mentally with the readjustments. People don't realize it's because you become a certain person, you become institutionalized. You've got mates on hand all the time. You can literally just go the next door. Or I used to be a four-man room. Most of my time I was served, I had other people in my room. You're going down the naffy, let's go downtown, man. Let's have a drink. You've always got someone there on hand, haven't you, to kind of to be there to chat with, and even when the job's shit, you're a soldier, or you're a paratrooper. So it's shit most of the time. It's shit. You're doing shit stuff, but you feel you've got purpose and value. And when you get out and you're nothing, that's when people struggle, isn't it? But I luckily didn't really experience that because I was so busy, and I built my own kind of army. Thousands of people in it, and I got a structure of commanders below me, and so that kept me going. And then when 4 Para moved over the road, I was like, fucking hell, this is the gods of war calling me one last time. I was like, can I? And I was like, it took me about 2 years to convince my wife, because she's like, absolutely no fucking way. You're so busy. I'm never going to see you, because I was away, and I'd stopped fighting though when I was 36. So, and I was away every weekend. So it's a lot of, how much you want to see me? I work from home with you, So in the end, she said I could, but the cut-off age was 42, and I was already 40. Yeah, before your 43rd birthday it was. So I was already 43. So I applied, and then they said no, but then I appealed because of my background, and they said, yeah, I got a letter, finally got in. And I was that grateful to get in at that stage. And then I just started to get an injury in my hip. Because my goal was, right, I'm going to fucking own this. Like, I was a professional, I was an athlete for all that time. I was fitter then than I was when I was in the army. And I'd managed to keep that going. So 39, I was as fit as, I'd same fitness my whole life to about 39. And then it's just, you haven't got a why. It's very difficult to sustain being that person. And it's fucking exhausting as well. Like, to try and stay to be that competitive fucking alpha male, win everything. Like, and I was getting to 39, and I was like, man, I need to kind of pass the baton on a little bit. And I'd retired from fighting, and then I had to kind of rev the engines back up again to do this. And I was getting excited about it. I thought, right, let's go, let's fucking go, let's do this. And I had visions of being like the fittest there, like, one of the top few, like I was. And I got this injury. Bearing in mind, I was 18 stone, 110 kilo or something, 17 stone, whatever that was. And I was training. I had to pass the bleep test at like fucking level 11.7 or anything. Like, fucking, that's hard when you're that weight. Do you know what I mean? And I was a 7-minute, 7:25 BFT type of guy back in the day. So I could shift a 5-minute mile, But I said, right, I'm going to get fit. I'm just going to run every day. Piece of mind. I stopped all my weight training, cut my food down, which I did, and started running. But because I'm that heavy now, my knees were hurting, pulling calf muscles. I was like, I can't sustain this level of impact anymore. So I had to be quite clever and do uphill walking, dieting. I reduced my body fat quite a lot by just like doing low impact stuff. Because as soon as I got lied to us, I was still fit anyway. Did loads of circuits, and then my hip was really starting to hurt. So I got a scan on it, and they said you need a new hip on the right leg. I was like, oh fuck, and it just deteriorated and got worse and worse.
Biffed it. So,
is the first one in history, the first para biff?
He needs a new hip. He needs a new hip. I need a new hip. I need a new hip. Sorry.
So what I did is I had to go through 11 weekends and then the 2 weeks at depot as a recruit, with a fucking bone on bone. I'd worn it out that much because I couldn't sleep at night. I was awake every night with it. It was unbelievable waves of pain going through my body because the nerves were catching. But I'd wore it out, and it was bone on bone in the end by the time I was at depot. And I thought, right, I can't stop or hold because I'm not going to get through it. Also, just cracked on and fucking did it all. Didn't biff on anything, did all the fizz still, but I was in shit state, and I had a new hip. I got a new hip afterwards as well. So I've had since 7 months ago, I've had a new hip.
So
Just before we
stop
crack
for a
on,
quick
this is a good point to pause. Just hold the question. I've got fucking John using the fucking drill like a knobhead. I'm just gonna go fill him in.
I need a piss break anyways. Do you want a piss break?
Yeah, go on then.
In all fairness, you're inspiring me a little bit just with your attitude, and I hate to say that about a para, considering we're the True Maroon. I will bang on about it. No, it's fucking good. I reckon it'll be good for people that are wanting to join. So
Because you are.
Yeah.
You're clean. You're switched on board. You're switched on board.
Thank you, mate. Well, actually, I'm
go on.
we rolling again, are we?
Yeah, back into it now. I'll cut that little bit out where I'm flirting with you.
So I'm actually I passed my training with the Parachute Regiment. I've been made back up, and now I'm on the recruit training team. So I'm part of the training team for the Parachute Regiment Reserves now. So that's my my hobby. So and I'm 50 anyway.
What's your opinion on attached arms doing Peacock? So
yeah, good. Yeah, anyone who fit hats.
Fit hats. Sorry.
So, yeah, no. Anyone who wants to do anything specialised like that, I've got a lot of respect for them. If they're going to go commando, P company, whatever it is, then that is, it's a certain mindset, isn't it? An elitist mindset. People that want to be a cut above and really test themselves out. And it isn't just about physical. People think it is. It's mental. It shows absolute resilience in your character. It means you're a fucking stubborn bastard. If you want to do something, it means you're going to fucking do it, and you're going to figure out how to do it. That's what it says to me about someone that can do that. Not just that someone's fit. Do you know what I mean? Fit people, all the fit gym queens, they don't last very long normally, because they're normally fit. They're normally at the front of the race, and they're used to being comfortable. Yeah, it's the guys that are at the back of the tabs all the time. I know plenty of people that at the start of training were at the back, fucking of all the tabs, all the runs. You take the piss out of them. They're just in a world of hurt constantly, so it doesn't mean any different. It's just another, and then they're just in a world of hurt all the time, aren't they? Then the fit ones will get on a log, where it doesn't matter how fit you are or the stretcher, and they'll just break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they get that far, or they don't have enough nutrition, or they miss the girlfriend, or fitness is like 10% of what it's like to get through the training, really. And people think it's like 90%, and it's really important, and you can't do it without it. But it is a small bit of the whole thing. And in battalion, when you're in your platoon, you're not but you're a really tight unit. It's all first, even with as soon as you pass training with your sergeant and everyone, it's all first names. Everything's dead tight, but there is very much a hierarchy within it, and everyone fucking knows their position within the seniority hierarchy, and that is very apparent. The Marines, their whole culture is very different. What you've got is two very different brands, but they're both elite. They're both. I've got some really good friends in the Royal Marines. They're fucking really good blokes as well. And they're all fizz monsters. They're just as fit. They focus a bit more on the upper body, don't they? The Marines, rope climbing, regains. Yeah, so loads of chin up. So that's where they excel in that area. Do you know what I mean? And we're fast and hard, like with what we do. It's aggressive, really aggressive training. That thinks that they don't do as much on that. They're treated a bit more grown up on that. But it's about finding, like for yourself, like for me when I was analysing when I was younger, it's about finding what I wanted and what I thought suited me and my personality traits. But it's one of those things. Who's best? I don't even think you can have that conversation because they're just very different. They're just a different product.
Going back on that, you said fast and hard, and I thought of Martha there. But she hasn't been with the Marines, so I can't say what she would say. Obviously, you said paras are fast and hard. Marines maybe more deep and cuddly. I don't know.
I think they're too busy having orgies with each other to get.
Right, so
they're a bit gayer, aren't they? That's their way of being crazy. So you see paratroopers will be dressed as Spartans, or be in toga with fucking reg tats out, muscles out, berets on, like picking chicks about the street. Marines will be dressed as chicks.
Women,
you'll be picking up the Marines
with nails
on.
Yeah.
All Marines have got a rig. They'll have a set of like female clothes in their wardrobes. Don't know if this is true, or not, but this is so helpful.
It's true. We need to get a Marine now to confirm.
Yeah, you definitely need to get.
My best mate's a Royal Marine. I'm going to business with him. We've got a thing coming up, train to troop it's called, and he was going to join the Paras when he was 18, and then he decided not to. He got a mint job. He got arrested. Luckily, that didn't affect it. He was handcuffed in the back of the police van, and the police officer looked away, and he just fucking belted off, handcuffed, and they chased him. Obviously, he was training for the Paras, so there was these 3 fat fucking coppers chasing him, and he just legged it. But then he was like, "Oh shit, I'm handcuffed!" Like, so then he ended up coming back, like, "Sorry," and fucking come back to the van. But he ended up getting a job out in Dubai as a football coach, and he did that for years. Come back, and then he joined the Marines at 28, and he became top of the class because he got life experience. He was fucking top of the class, and he come back, and he come back at this, and I was like, "You been on juice?" He was like, "Nope, it's just what we do." It's like all we do on the ship is fucking pull-ups.
So I've got like 2 questions now. So obviously, Andy McNabb basically said that there are Mongs in SAS, so that only confirms that there are Mongs in the parachute regiment. I need to know depot Mongs, and I need to know how they get from depot to battalion, and sort of like how that moonlights with itself. And then I also want to know, because when you go through training, it's sort of like it's a battle with yourself, and then when you finally get to the end, you think, "Thank fuck, no more 20 milers." And then obviously when you get to a parachute battalion, it's just like 20 milers every Tuesday or whatever. Yeah. Does that not get exhausting?
Yeah, but you sign up for it. So if PT is not something that you're scared of, you want to do it. If you're saying that, not everyone does, but you kind of know what you're signing up for, really, don't you? Yeah. I think with the parachute regiment, especially if you're in a rifle company as well. Saying that, though, support company as well, we were flat out. Some really fit guys in support companies as well. Normally, it's in some of the other regiments, the support companies, the older, fatter guys that are not doing stuff. They're all big.
50-year-old Lance Jack. 50-year-old Lance Jack.
Yeah. That's me now. I'm a fucking 47-year-old Lance Jack.
But you're not fat.
And with regards to Mongs, of course you're always going to get a few slip through the net. But you got to remember, sometimes some of the guys going through are 17 and 18, and that is, you're a child, and they just need a bit more time to develop. Those Mongs sometimes, I know one that was, I'm not going to mention any names, go through training at the back of all the runs. They're just struggling. They've got lack of confidence. One of the youngest in the group. They're monging as soon as you start flapping it on your weapons drills, then they're just flapping every time they've got a weapon or anything they're doing, because they're a kid and everyone's older and they feel well out of their comfort zone, but they don't leave. No, they feel like that constantly and they don't leave, and they're getting shit off everybody and they don't leave. And I know guys that have done that, and they've done 20 foot. They've been the Mong and then they've gone to battalion, and they've been a bit of a Mong to start with as well while they were young, because they've still got that self-image and they're still fucking about with stuff. And then they just mature a little bit. You see them 10 years later. They do a full career. I know some of them that come to Sergeant Majors and really good, competent blokes. But do you know what I mean? It's just, and then you get some that stay Mongs all the way through. Do you know what I mean?
On that one,
you don't get many, though. It is, the majority are I'd say you get 70% of the battalion are absolutely everything you would imagine. Then you got 20%, which are all right, and then 10% are Mongs.
Well, let's put it another way, right?
Are fucking absolutely what you would imagine.
This is going off subject slightly, but let's imagine just because you passed a certain test doesn't make you the best. So if you've been a Mong between a group of people, so let's imagine us 3 have all passed our driving test, but I passed I was legendary, and you passed straight through, and you know what I mean? Doesn't make we've all passed our test, but I'm the Mong of us 3 because you know what I mean? It's like, so I think it was Fox. He said he did a speech, and he was like, he basically said, "You're you've got in the SAS, so you're the best, but so's everyone else around you. They're the best of the best. So suddenly you're around a group of the best of the best. So someone's going to have to be the Mong of the best. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the test.
Yeah, it's called the 80-20 rule. There's always an imbalance. So 80% of the money's earned by 20% of the people. So 20% of the people are going to be Mongs. So even if you got all of the even if you got the really elite people at that group and put them into one group, there's still going to be 20% of them are going to be more monks than the others, and you can keep doing that, and that's just
the same course. We all do the same course now, and we all pass the course, but doesn't mean you can be miles better and I could be the monk of the course, but I've still passed the course.
Yeah,
it's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Right, you said something there, and I was completely blanked because I was looking at Ricky's fucking shit hat. Fuck.
You've been far left now. Is it because it's a Union fucking flag?
Right. What was my fucking next question? I'm just more into like the science of like the military now. It's gone from like
science.
It's gone from Dits to like, right, how can we make the best infantryman? Fuck, Ricky, take over because I can't think of my fucking question now.
He's lost for words. Even I'm going to be lost for words. No, we'll carry on because so we literally we haven't got past basic training yet, and look how far we're in.
I know,
so when you first got to the unit, what was it like when you first got to your fucking regiment? Like as a young fucking, is it a Joe? You call is it a Joe? All right, you can't
You're a Joe in depot and a Crow when you get to battalion, which is a new bloke.
It was Joe and Harry. It changed, I think, because it was Joe, and when you got to unit, I think it was Harry. But probably changed.
Yeah,
not that I was in the paras.
Yeah. So no, Harry is a Harold, which is a harried hat. That's a hat.
Oh right, okay.
You call them Harold. Okay. Yeah. So a new bloke, private soldier is a Tom, and then a new bloke is a Crow. But you're always a Crow. You're always a Crow to someone. Even if you're gobbing off and you're around all the Crows, you'd be gobbing off, and someone goes, "Shut the fuck up, you Crow!" Like you just. So I never gobbed off. I didn't give like the new blokes get such a fucking hard time in the parachute regiment. It's just ridiculous. Like there's a lot of egos flying around the place, and they all had shit, and they wanted to pass shit downhill. But it's all part of the acceptance. It takes a good year, really, once you've been in there and you go away a couple of places abroad or whatever, and you come back and you know the guys, and then you ask your senior Tom if you're allowed to get your tattoo, and then you get your tattoo at that stage as well. And then you're complete, aren't you? You're invincible at that stage, and you're bulletproof. So you get filled in downtown a couple of times and fucking reality checked.
What you're saying there, though, is I can imagine you pass P company, right? So if you like, even say I'd went transferred, right, and I'd decided to go join the paras, then went and got badged and got to the parachute regiment, I'd think, fucking right, I passed P company, blah blah, got to my unit, and I'm going to get there, and you're like, you little sprig.
No one cares.
It's like, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. People think that you passed it. You think I've passed now, so I'm 1 year, and I go, no, you fuck. So you're still a throwback.
You have to be very careful as well. A lot of big hard blokes there as well. Remember, if you think you're big and hard and you're 18 or 19, there's lots of other big hard people that are 24, 25, 26, 27, 30s that might be junior NCOs, whatever. And if you're being a fucking a cobby cunt, they'll let you know as well. So you just need to be very careful, test the waters, and gradually, once you get more comfortable in your platoon after a bit, you can kind of open things up, and then you'll know blokes that you passed out with that are in different platoons, and you go on courses and meet others, and you might move companies or whatever, or do a tour somewhere and get attached to someone. And after a couple of years, the same with yourselves, isn't it? You know more and more of the blokes then, and you get downtown and you meet people, and then after a bit, you just generally be one of those horrible gobshite paras that you see everywhere. Comfortably, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, I could just picture a fucking Harry or Joe or whatever the fuck you call each other. Like after 3 weeks of being at unit, just walking over to the stores and asking if they've got a tattoo that they can sign out the stores.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I need to get me tattoo now. I've been here 3 weeks.
They do. You might even see, even if you see like recruits like Joe's and they're past P company and they're all out together, they are fucking thinking they're invincible to anyone else. But then they're told under no, like circumstances, when you get to your battalion, you wind your fucking neck right in and be the grey man and don't gob off and you're not a big hard paratrooper. You've done nothing at this stage and no one else cares. They don't come, and you're not like, if you meet someone else who's not done P company, not a para, they're quite interested to go, tell us about it, what you do. Like no one cares there. That's nothing. That's just the base level. Yeah. And you're a new bloke, so you're below level.
I've told this story before, but when I was at IT, I joined the Green Hours originally. So when I was at ITP, went on the piss, right, and weekend, and I had a Burberry jacket, mate, and I thought it was fucking cool as fuck. Went out, and this parrot lad, come on, he was still, I think he just passed a P company. So, but anyways, he come up, and he was like, I was 16, he was about 25. and he was like, right, he's a Cockney. He went, give me your jacket. No, he said, let me buy your jacket. I said, no, I like it, thanks. He went, no, let me buy your jacket. And I went, no, I want to keep it. He went, no, I'm going to buy it for 80 quid, or I'm going to fucking fill you in and take it. And I was like, okay, I'll take the 80 quid. So I just took the 80 quid, and then it was either get filled in. That was, I mean, I was 7 stone wet through. He was 26, just past peak. He was a big lad to me, anyways. Not so much now.
How would it have even fitted him? How much was the jacket worth?
It was baggy. I bought it off someone. It was baggy. It was baggy, and it turned inside out. It was either blue. It could be blue on one side, or turn it inside out. It was Burberry, and it was like my combat jacket. You know, you could turn it up. You just took it up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Funny. Yeah, there's a lot of. Oh well, I don't know. It's like it's still the same now a lot. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be careful now. You do. There's all these laws in place, isn't there? Where it's like things that you did, which you thought were funny, like red eyeing. If you know what a red eye is, when like, do you know what a red eye is? Yeah.
I do.
So someone's on the floor and you fucking they pull the pants down and they fucking sit on their face with their arse.
Oh, we call them poo pies. That's a Kingo thing. Right? We call them poo pies. Yeah.
They were constantly given out for just you fucked up. You did a man's flick. You did something that was stupid. Constant red eyes, red eyes, red eyes. And then one of the, I won't say the word, but when we're in support company, that obviously
move your camera slightly. Your camera slightly. You're off screen. There you go. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. And then in support company, the boundaries of like the NCOs, junior NCOs, and the Toms is quite loose. Do you know what I mean? There's quite a lot of senior Toms there and stuff as well. And one of the Toms red-eyed a Lance Jack, and he was not fucking happy. So he would, and then it got out somehow, and it got into the head shed, and then the MPs found out about it, and they're like, "What happened?" And he went, "Just said, oh, like he fucking red-eyed me." Go, "What's that?" Where he put his pants down, and there was a sexual abuse. They were like trying to do him for like, but it is really, isn't it? It is,
yeah.
That's a form of rape. It's worse, isn't it?
It is.
Stop grabbing people in the street and red-eyeing them. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking, you'd be emotionally scarred. I've been red-eyed once, and I can still remember the sensation of it, and it isn't a very pleasant experience.
I agree what you're saying, but at the same time, I think that if you train someone to be, as a fellow soldier, you train someone to be a soldier, right? You're taught to basically fucking fight and fucking kill, right? Let's get to the meat. So, if you suddenly get your feelings hurt, because that's nothing compared to like Alex getting shot in the fucking head. He's lost a fucking eye, let alone a red eye. He take a fucking red eye. He's fucking off a fucking eye. Do you know what I mean? And so it's
Oh fucking hell! I forgot.
It's worrying that the amount of legislation, rules, and restriction you're seeing around soldiers all the time. And we were moaning in the 90s and early 2000s. We're going, fucking hell, what? And now, if you see how it's gone now, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So that can't continue like that. You're going to have a very what's going to happen is you're going to have a non-functional army, because they're recruiting from the wrong pool of people now. And they've got all this, like, you're fucking holding them account. Like, where's the big personalities that would go out and be fucking being mavericks and getting in trouble and just about getting away with it, or not getting away with it sometimes? Do you know what I mean? The hand grenades that you've got there. So, and that all built to the morale and the image, the self-image of the regiment. So, and there still is very much that going on in the parachute regiment, but people are just reprimanded extensively now if they are caught and made examples of.
For me, like, it's gone, like, people used to always go, back in my day, it was always back in my day, it was harder, which it was always harder. But then I never thought I'd say it, but now I'm seeing to the point where it's not even to the point now where it's like, if you can't call someone a fucking biff, you go, you fucking dirty little biff. It's like, my feelings and fucking, you're not even allowed to call someone, not even use words, right? So you're going to train a soldier to fucking fire a weapon and fucking kill the enemy, bayonet training, but don't call someone a biff, because that'll hurt his feelings. But teach the man bayonet training, but he can't call someone a biff.
So how true this is, I don't actually know, but there's a new thing called op teamwork, which is essentially don't call people mongs, don't call people biffs, and it's I think it's given by a platoon sergeant. So basically, what happened at one of the units, like this was around about the time that my video started doing all right. It was like, right, so we can't call each other mongs, let's call each other willows, and I just thought that was so brilliant that I sort of like I've sort of like added to a bit of Reggie history there, to whatever unit that was. Now they call each other Willows as opposed to Mongs, and it's fucking funny.
So,
But another thing I just wanted to touch on was, how do you think the parachute regiment would deal with like transgenders joining and stuff like that? Obviously, I am aware of like you've got a school and stuff like that, so you don't have to answer it. But
That's all right.
yeah, you got to be careful.
There was one. There was a transgender captain in the 3 para. I think it was 3 paramotors before I joined, which is where all of the rumours about 3 paramotors comes. I was in 3 paramotors. You see, that's one where I finished.
Fucking hell!
Right.
No wonder he wanted to be with 2 lads.
Which is where I think that's where Martha ended up, was with the mortars. Was it? I'm not sure.
What now?
I'm not sure about that. It might not have been, but yeah. So that's where I ended up. So what were we talking about again? Just we changed.
Just sort of like, what's your opinion on how the regiment will get affected?
So there was one guy who got, this is before all this kicked off with the transvestites, and actually he came out as a woman. It was in the paper. Google it and try and find it. It's from years ago. And a lot of people, just take the piss out of it and say that they're all a bit like that. But we haven't got any within the military. I think the military, especially our regiment, and I'm sure you'll be saying the same, it's not racist or sexist. Like, if you're good at the job, no one gives a shit. I met Rosie, the first lady that passed P Company.
Yes, she was AGC. She was a captain AGC when I was at Harrogate. She came back with all flowers in the car because she was supposed to pass.
Rosie Wild, is it? Is it Wild? I think it is. Yeah. I'll have to have a look. I've got her on Facebook. Yeah. So, and she passed P Company. She's the first one, and there's also she passed P Company, which was in Parachute Regiment. Then there's a lady who's passed P Company, and she's serving as a platoon commander in 2 para. And apparently the blokes, because she's fit as fuck, like not like fit as in, well, she probably is compared to the blokes, but the fact is, if you can do your job and you can do it better than most people, then no one really cares. And because it's a platoon commander, it's the only one in the regiment as one, and she's a captain now, I think. So she's a platoon commander. So I'm not there. I'm not in 2 para, but I know. I met someone that's working close. I don't want to mention who he is, but I met someone who works, with her, and he said that she's really good, and the blokes get on sound with her, and she's fit. Yeah. So
I'll never forget when I was in Harrogate, one of my mates was going 209 Commandos. So he was going 209 Commandos, and the full screw of Bombardier, he was 7 para RHA, and so when she was on the thing, he kept saying they had a bet. They shouldn't have had a bet when he's a recruit. They had a 20 quid bet, and then when she passed the commando course, he kept obviously tapping his wings like that, winding him up, like doing that, but like she hasn't got the wings, and it was just like, but like that would be seen as
women passed the commando course. Yeah, years before, didn't they? And that was ammunition for the parachute regiment with the Royal Marines for years until Rosie passed, and then this other lady passed as well. But the thing is, with the Marines one, that lady, the earlier ones that did it, from people I know, apparently it was a bit of a PR stunt, and she wasn't good enough, and they lowered the standards to make sure they got someone through, and that's what pissed everyone off. Don't think any of the Marines would have given a fuck if the level had been the same and they'd reached it. I don't think anyone would care. And that was the case with the ones from the parachute regiment. They were out. I spoke to the guy because I knew on one of the ladies, I knew the sergeant major that was running P Company, and they said there's a chick on there. Didn't say chick, obviously. I'm sure he's not to use that terminology.
A female recruit.
Yeah, some split arse on there. He said, and he just said there's a woman on there, and she goes that she's going to pass. She's out tabbing all the blokes. And everyone was like, flipping, oh, no way. So, and then she did, yeah.
I don't know. So this is my devil's advocate to the situation. Everyone pretty much knows my opinion on women in the infantry in general. It's more the fraternisation.
I don't think you should have them in, by the way, though. I think I respect them from coming up, but I think it changes the dynamics too much. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's needed.
It's pretty much a case of, it should be like, I don't want to single out minorities, but if there's a Gurkha regiment, I feel like there should be a female regiment of whatever it is that they do. Whether that's a good or bad idea. I don't know.
Definitely, because when you want a brew or a sandwich or something, then I think that's why you should have the female regiments, because that they can
do the block jobs.
Can't they?
Yeah, I agree with one thing. The one thing I'll say, right? I don't care what you say. Us as men, we protect women, right? And I don't care what you say. I can't change my opinion on that. So if you're on a log run, right, and there's a female, you're not going to let her go on at all. If she's next going, you're not going to let her change and take your place on a log run. So you're just going to keep running, fucking. And it's not. As I'll say, real men, we don't fucking. We protect women. That's just what we believe in, right? I'm sorry, I won't hit a woman, but so for me, having a woman in the unit, you're naturally going to protect them more. I don't give a fuck what you say. You will.
Right. This is
protect them, and everyone's going to try and shag them.
Yeah, and that as well. Obviously, but I'm round going. I protected you the most.
Come here, love. They get away from these horrible creatures. Start snaking in with them. You can see it.
Squaddies are dirty dicks. Come with me.
I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this in your head. Now, obviously, when you go through training, you've all seen like films where they depict basically sometimes you have to kill like, I don't know, a 14-year-old that's firing at you with an AK. Sometimes you have to do the job, and that's fine. My question now is, how would you feel if you're on your side of the fucking barrel and you're looking down your sight and you see a woman firing at you?
I think if they're trying to shoot me, I wouldn't give a fuck, to be honest with you.
Would it not but think about like, this is like the PTSD aspect. Imagine like after the fact, like how.
Yeah.
If she was a hipper crocker pig, probably absolutely, because I'd be saving someone's life, because someone might get up the duff. But if she was fit, then probably.
Fit, yeah, exactly. If she was fit, then you might cry yourself to sleep a few nights afterwards. But I would have fucking. I'll finish the bitch off first, straight away, without any second thoughts. If someone
write little notes and try and throw little notes in. Surrender.
I'm not going to be trying to identify gender at that stage, mate. I'm fucking killing anything that is firing in my direction, to be honest with you. Yeah, they're all cammed up as well. Unless they're lipstick, will give them away, wouldn't it? I suppose.
It's in a battlefield situation when fucking bods are going down, and you fucking take out the threat, don't you? It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But if she's ugly, it helps. If she's ugly, it helps. That's all I'm saying.
It's just a weird thing, isn't it? Because like you'll see them, you'll spot them a mile off, because you'll see like 6 foot tall blokes, and you'll see that 5'3", and you think, fucking hell, that bloke's a bit fucking short, and then you'll realise what it is. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it's not fair. Granted, she wants to be there, and there's medics and stuff like that. Fair enough. But like part of the fighting unit,
like that medic, worth outstanding as well. I mean, I didn't do Eric. I'd got out by then, but I have a lot of friends that did. And do you know what? When we was in, it was really harsh on all the crap hats and that. But when they went away on Herrick, they got more respect for the other regiments as well then, because they were in it together a lot of the times. They're still hats, obviously, but they were good hats that fucking fitted in and out them. And they had chicks there, and they had people that were going on patrols with them that were medics that were doing really good jobs and saving people's lives. And people got to saw the wheels in motion of the machine that is the army, and you are a cog. You're not the whole thing. So they realise then the part of this bigger thing, I think.
What you're saying there, I'm going to interrupt quickly. So because of like when you train, and all you see is the enemy, and that's all you're doing. So suddenly, when you're on like Herrick, you've got your medics, you've got your even like Kajaki, the chef. There was a chef up there with them, fucking scanning food with them. And it was like shit. Like we'll be fucked about you. You're cooking us fucking food, and suddenly it's a case of your food, your fucking ammunition, your fucking bomb disposal, all that stuff that you don't really have when you're training. When you need your bomb disposal, when you need your fucking ammunition, when you need your medics, your dog handlers, you're like, hang on, there is a bigger picture, and I'm glad you said that, because that's a very good point.
You don't really feel it though, do you? Well, as a paratrooper, you don't anyway, because unless you're on a big exercise, but then most of the time, all you're doing is bringing in support company to support you. Do you know what I mean? But if you're in other regiments that are, because you're bomb disposal, weren't you? And if you're like an engineer or something, or a medic, you're going to be in the mix with everybody else anyway, aren't you? Because they don't normally have a medic battalion, do you? You're like, the medics will go off and be,
you're attached. You're always, generally, you're an attached arm, so you'll be out there. Like say, if you like, I joined originally to Green Howard, then I went driver, and when I was driver in Northern Ireland, like, so I had all the infantry bods in the back, and so I'm driving them, like, and they're like, we're all together. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking when we're going to the riots, it was these lads in the back. Do you know what I mean? And it was like we're all together.
As an attached arm, then, how was that? Did you feel isolated slightly because you were not part of their clique, or did you quite soon just bed in and then become like one of the?
You're all together because before you deploy, like before you go out on the ground, you're all having scram together. Like, oh, we're going out, and you've got your fucking kit together. You get in the wagon. It's like you felt part of it. It was, they don't fucking disrespect you because we're all together. Because you know what I mean? Like, it's, and that was me at 18-year-old. Like, that was me at 18. I'm thinking straight away, it was a Scottish regiment of all people that fucking hate the English. So I'm like, yeah, fucking English.
Outsiders, yeah.
Yeah, so I was an English country. Well, like, they made me eat haggis and that, but apart from that, it was all good.
Catch the wild one. Get you catching wild ones, haggises.
What eyes?
They're very rarely seen in the world, aren't they? Very rarely seen in the world.
We had a Canadian the other week, and when I went did some training with the Canadians, we told them we're going haggis shooting. They come to us, and we're like little two-legged things. Sorry, 2 legs shorter than the other, so they can walk on mountaintops, and they've got one eye so they can see straight. And they believed it. They were like, "Oh yeah, I fucking love shooting, man."
Like the Americans, aren't they? So gullible. They don't get dry humor. If you're going to tell a joke to an American, you need to be laughing with them to show them this is what they're meant to do, to reciprocate and copy. If you just go boom and you're blank like British humor, where you're just like, you don't even get the joke till you walked away, you go, that could take the piss out of me, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? That's the best. I love humor though. It's, you can't laugh. You know, they need to laugh. If you're the alpha, you're in the center, you're cracking the jokes, you're saying it, and everyone else should be laughing. You shouldn't be fucking giving it away, should you?
Yeah, no,
well, Americans, British, even civvies don't understand us. We're fucking stupid. Like, our sense of humour is absolutely fucking. That's why, like, I do what I do on TikTok. I miss the community. Like this.
Yeah,
of course. Civvies don't get it, but Americans are just completely another level. Like, I've said the story before. The Dits. We're in American in Iraq. We're in their, chow hall, and literally, you drop your tray in the cookhouse. Everyone goes, "Hey, dickhead," and makes you feel that fucking small. And you just want the world to eat you up. You feel like leaving the army. Like, you do.
That's the best bit about the stop is when someone drops a tray in it. It's the best bit.
It's just everyone you're basically the biggest crow. Like, you're the worst fucking human being.
ND at lunch. What are you saying with the Americans?
It's the same thing. No, it's the same thing. But I didn't drop the tray. Fucking hell. Someone else did. We clapped, and they looked at us. All the Americans just turned around and stared at us. Went to the table of, a British, and it was like, that to us, that's an ND, isn't it? It's the same thing. Dropping your food tray, fucking firing your weapon, same thing.
And you could have been among it. Like, you're just giving people ammunition here, aren't you? Fucking come on, sort yourself out. Stop attracting attention.
I'll do a quick interlude here. Obviously, I do have to keep right. So we're at the 1.5 hour mark, and sort of like it's the back end of the podcast now. But this is sort of like opportunity for you to promote yourself and talk about like things that like social medias and stuff like that. And we're just sort of like more into the professional side of what you get up to on a daily.
Yeah. Cool. So with regard to that as well, then with your podcast, do you share any of this on your TikTok and stuff as well, or not?
Yeah.
We have an individual TikTok for it. Yeah.
You got another account for it, have you?
Yeah, so it's called the Bottom Third TikTok. That's literally what it's called.
Oh, okay. How's that doing? Is that starting to grow?
It's all right. The thing is, it's difficult sometimes because the jargon that we use, civvies don't really get it. And it's hard to get veterans to keep signing up to new pages every time a bod has a new idea. So the amount of military TikTok pages that come out, it's difficult for lads and lasses to keep up. It's doing all right for what it is. We have a dedicated fan base, but it's very small.
But we've got the views. We're getting good views.
Yeah.
But it's
how many?
So we get
20, 30,000 views. But what we need is people think because they see me, because they know my face, for example, or Alex's, they assume that it's us. But it is us. I mean, they don't realise it's a separate page. Does that make sense? Because if you follow me and you see my face on a different page, you assume it's the same page. Does that make sense?
Don't you share this on your own pages though to bring your audiences onto it and link. Can you link in TikTok?
Yes, right.
Because
I'll teach you afterwards. Make a link tree. Go on linktree.com and basically like your Facebook link, you add it and you make like a little page and it has all your links on it, and then that link tree will generate a link and put it into your social media. It's just that one little URL. When people click on it,
you click on it,
it shows all your social medias. So instead of people trying to type it in and find it, it just puts it into a nice little format for you.
I've just got my podcast link on there at the minute in my website.
Oh, have you got it?
Yeah. Stuff on it.
It's fine. Over-explained.
Yeah, but I haven't got a link on there. Yeah, I've just got it attached.
Well, we'll teach you.
So, yeah, good. I appreciate that. Thank you, gents. And thanks for the invite as well. I appreciate it. But yeah, to kind of summarise a little bit then. So, said about what I did. I built up the martial arts organisation and opened over 200 schools, literally myself in the trenches, signing them up all around the UK, employing and mentoring veterans as well. So I was getting PTIs from the military, boxing and kickboxing and MMA experience, retraining them because they've got like all the attributes as a leader, haven't they? Like the perfect kind of leader. And then setting them up in their own business where they can make a lot more money than they ever would do in the military. And built everything up, moved over to here in Liverpool, joined the Full Power again, training on the training team. And then for some reason, I've because of all the skill set I've got and the training course I've built up, the 5-day selection course, which is tough. You have to do like a log run on it and fucking sparring test, which is worse than milling, to show heart and character. But then there's a lot of professional stuff with teaching and interacting, similar to what you do on a PTI course, but martial arts orientated, and how to interact with children, parents, loads of business stuff on there. 1 mile timed run as well. Like you've got the old BPFA, like press ups and sit ups. So I can test character, fitness, practical physical abilities, business skills, and then they do written examination as well as lots of practical exams. So now I've fine-tuned this course over the course of 20 years. And I've got this great model, which I use for my own franchisees. And I thought, this could change the industry. Like if I could let more people have this. So I decided to write a book. Bearing in mind, I'm dyslexic. And I fucking struggled to write anything. I couldn't read or write properly when I left the army. I couldn't read or write. Anything over 4 letters, I wouldn't be able to spell. Very few words with over 4 letters I could spell. Then I started my own business and I got a lot better. And then I would become conscious that I was shit at it. And I would I'd write stuff out and then I'd recheck it. And then I got better and better because I was having to deliver stuff and write in processes and programs. And I got people to spell check it and that, but I was unaware of how bad I was. So you can't even check your own mistakes. I use ChatGPT now, it's brilliant. But that came out after my book. So I wrote a book. I decided to write a book to put all of this down in. I just happen to have a copy here with me now.
This fucking book here. So I bought a book.
Yeah, everything's spelled right from what I can see.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's spelled backwards to me. It's spelled backwards.
I wrote it all backwards as well because I'm dyslexic. So, obviously, it's the most masculine book cover you're ever going to find. I couldn't be any more masculine unless I had a moustache and bullets flying past me. So it's called Elite, and it's everything about the training course, but also it's called Elite Martial Arts Instructor, and it's about me, my journey growing up, doing martial arts, my fighting experience. I've trained multiple world champions. I've opened over 200 martial arts centres. And then it's all of the training process and manuals. But I've made it multi-dimensional and more exciting because I'm my ADHD as well. I can't just read a fucking operations manual. It's boring. So it's themed. I call it the 6 rounds of success. Round 1 is, I'll give you an example just to get an idea, is ready, which is I've called red on, like as a paratrooper, red on. When the plane's red, the light's red on the plane, it means and signifies that thousands of checks have happened and that the plane is about to approach its perfect destination with all the correct people in all the right places that are all trained to the right level with hundreds of kit checks, with the right ammunition, everything's right. If one thing's amiss, you can die. The operation you could kill someone, or the operation could be a failure. So Red On is my first chapter, and it means preparation for your launch, and it needs to be done with the same mindset as you would do if you were about to fucking jump. And because you can't be lackadaisy with anything, can you? No. Everything's checked, double checked, triple checked a million times. You do everything to the letter you're meant to do according to the process that you're following. So that's how I do it, and that's the mindset I'm trying to get my readers into that are doing this. Then the next round is the launch or the relaunch, and that is called green on go as well. The military analogy is, which is when you jump, you're going from order, quiet, preparation into fucking chaos. And that is the launch night, and that signifies when you jump out of a plane, you then got to navigate your airspace and drop your kit and steer into the best possible position you can, and then accept the landing as it comes. So this is a metaphor for the actual launch night as well, and the actual going from a passive state into an active state. Third round is the rapid growth. So after the relaunch, you've got the rapid growth. And I call that one advance to battle as well. My military analogy for that is advance to battle. So you've landed, you've got to get to the objective as fast as possible with momentum. So this signifies you've launched your school and you want to optimize that 12 to 18 months of being fresh and new and having the energy to grow your school, because they grow the most in that stage. Then the next stage is retention, which is the battle. So you got advance to battle, then the battle. So everything you've done previously gets you to the battle. So you've done all the jump, you've advanced to the battle. So you've immense fitness to get you to the start line, but your job starts now. You know what I mean? That's where it starts. Everything else is hearsay at that point, because this is what's important. So that part of the book is the retention and retaining. You've built, your school, your students. How do you retain them? So it comes all the different ways of structuring your school so you can retain people in your business more. The next round is the restructure, which the military analogy is the reorg. Okay, so
reorg. I was going to say that.
So post firefight and battle. Okay, first thing you do, you get your arcs covered. Yeah, that's it. You get your arcs covered. You have a reassessment of your current situation, see who's injured, anyone's dead. Ammunition, ammo state. Do you know what I mean? Rejig things around, redistribute ammo, and then move forwards again positively. So that is the reorg, but it's also the restructure. So once you've built your business, that is about looking at everything you've got now, pulling yourself backwards, pulling yourself out of the actual teaching sides, restructuring it, and restructuring the actual business structure, because you've got like limited companies, LLPs, you've got overseas businesses, multi-company structures. So you've got to look, you've built a legacy. What do I do now to protect that? Pull myself back so it's an entity upon itself, that I can now structure in the best possible way, so it's serving me and I can earn more money, pay less tax, and look at more efficient ways which are still legal and gonna keep you safe once you've built this legacy. And then the last round is the training and selection. So that is repeat. The last round is called repeat. So then it's from building this legacy, how you then select the right people from within your group to then train them to then go back to round one again and start with the red on, so you can continue to cycle and grow and expand your empire. So that's the whole book is based on that. So it's a journey, and it's got loads of little stories in there of stuff I got up to when I shouldn't have, and
Well, do you know? Touching on that, it'd be a good thing in the future. A good little thing once, like with our YouTube, is me, Alex, and Danny coming to do selection. Your little selection. We'll pick it, but
we'll come and do it. Smoke the lot.
Yeah, you come down. I've got a training course. Got a training course in September, 5-day training course.
I'm not that ready. But not that ready. It'll be the next one after that.
We do 4 a year anyway. We do 4 a year, so you can come in when you're ready.
We'll do. No, we're doing the rally. So give it a month. Let me reorg, and then I'm going to bang a few press ups out before that, and then we'll go for it.
getting beaten up by like 15 and 16-year-old kids on the sparring bits.
No,
Oh,
it'll make a good video, won't it? It'll make a mid video. It'll advertise you, mate. It'll promote you, and it'll biff us. And happy days.
Phil Campbell said he was going to go on it as well, but then I messaged him about it and I haven't heard back from him. So, but he's always up for a little challenge, isn't he? I'll message him again soon when I've got some days. Phil Campion said he wanted to.
Yeah, because he invited Alex on it. He's invited me on the podcast, but he's miles away. I've not got round to going. But Alex was on the other week. I've made comms with him. I've got his phone number. But yeah, it'll be me, Alex, and Daniel. At some point, we'll get down. It'll be a good YouTube video. We'll come down and we'll get. It'll be funny, won't it? It'll be a good laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely.
I'm not competitive. I'm just more like if I'm not winning, I'm very much so. You see that I'm losing, and I don't like it. Like I throw a little pad in me when I'm losing.
That's how you grow. This is why people that are good at stuff don't have a big ego all the time. They're quite humble because you've been humbled because you've been around people better than you all the time, and you can't advance forwards and get good at something if your ego's too big. It's very, very difficult. It's all right when you see people once they've got to the end of their journey and their ego then grows. That does happen a lot. But if your ego's too big too early, it will hinder you. It will stop you from advancing forwards because the pain of not being good at something is just too uncomfortable for somebody for their ego to take, and then they can find themselves jacking instead.
Even me with my TikTok, I've done it where I've done stuff and people went, "Well done, Ricky," and I went, "No," I went, "It's you fucking lads." I went, "It's my platform." I said, "But if it wasn't for you, nothing would happen. If it was just me saying, whatever." But luckily, people, because of my platform, okay, I've earned my platform, but I'm 100% humble with it. At no point do I go, "Yep, it's all me." Fucking I square this away. I go, "No," I went, "It's fucking you lot." I was like, "I'm just the voice." Do you know what I mean? We're looking for a bodyguard for our fucking tour, and after it, we ain't got enough room for you. We're gonna get if we get what's it called? We've got a tour bar. If we get a trailer, we'll put you in the trailer. You can do our close protection. He's a bit worried we'll get stabbed.
Fucking
break
right.
glass in case of emergency.
Yeah. Would you be making an appearance for the Veterans Honour Rally, or do you reckon you're busy around about those dates? Because it's from the 2nd to the 6th. It's pretty much.
No, but we're close to him. It's close to us. What's it called? Where we're close to? Where we start? No, not where we start. Where we start? It's near Birmingham.
Lichfield.
Lichfield.
Yeah, Lichfield.
Yeah. I'm in Liverpool now. Yeah, so that's a couple of hours away.
I'm in Liverpool.
What's the dates?
So Lichfield will be the.
No. The end will be closer to him. North Wales is closer to Liverpool.
So
Rill's closer, I think.
Yeah, Rill is on the Saturday
the 6th, is it?
Yeah.
6th, 7th, something like that.
Yeah, there's a big parade on and everything. It's an actual like public event at the end.
Oh, is it?
And then.
Yeah, so what exactly are you doing?
So in basic terms, we've been given a car. Have you seen the car?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So we've been given that, and essentially we're driving around, and then when people see us, we basically like promote charities, and then they can donate to those charities, like what you're doing, whatever. And then we've got challenges for that's for us to have fun, basically. So we'll do a couple of challenges, win loads of points, and then we win like prizes. That's for us. But then towards like the night time, the evening, when we've like checked in and the day is done, there's a venue where veterans can actually rock up, sort of interact with each other, couple of videos, and then it's just put it on TikTok. So there's a link if you want to donate to any of these 5 charities. One's like homeless veterans.
It's basically, when I say it's going to be not the big charities, we're going to little charities.
Yes.
The little charities that help people, rather than the big charities don't help people. It's the little ones that literally, if they've got 30,000, they'll buy you a rat pack. Do you know what I mean? And get you a basher.
I do quite a lot for military, for veterans as well. With my organisation, like people that have had a bit of a rough time, but a lot of the guys fit, might have a bit of martial arts background or whatever, and I will literally, like it costs them quite a lot of money to get a franchise with this, and I'll literally give it them for fuck all, get them on the training course for nothing, and then sort them out. So end up paying about 80% of the franchise fee. So all they've got to do is just get a little bit invested, and then we'll run with it with them then and fucking get them sorted.
send us a sticker over. We'll put it on the car.
Yeah, to be fair,
Yeah,
there's,
that'd be
there's
great.
nothing saying we
If you
can't
give
do
us,
that.
if you give us, if you, I'll send you my address, mate. Send us a sticker over. We'll put it on the car for you.
Okay, brilliant.
That's,
Yeah. So what's the date when you're going?
So it's standing
Sunday first will be in Lichfield at the King's Head pub. It's like the oldest
like
pub in
RV,
Lichfield.
like that's
And
when
it's
we
gonna take
fucking
you-
meet up.
It's literally.
Is that you
Say again.
did it for a week, are you?
Yeah, so it's a week.
Yeah,
we do 1,600 miles total in the car in a Yaris.
Cool.
Dealing
We
with this
finished.
It's
fucking
obviously
idiot.
not that far to Rill, is it? You're going to be going the scenic route.
No, yeah, we're going. Yes, we're going from. My maths is shit. Well, my geography. Yeah, we're going from.
So Lichfield,
Lichfield,
Skegness, and then down to Kitchener's Hotel in fucking
Lowthorpe or something. Lowthorpe.
yeah, Lowestoft,
Like that.
and then from
Lowestoft
Lowestoft to
Brighton.
Brighton to
Brighton to Torquay.
Torquay, and then Torquay to Rill.
And we've got two days in Real.
Going up, right up, and then right down.
Yeah, like we're going all.
Don't have the pit in Rill. Fucking hell, it's fucking dodgy as fuck.
I've
If it's
heard
anything
this.
like it used to be, especially if you're English there, and you go out into a nightclub there, and everyone knows each other, and not you.
Right, okay, well that's why you're coming. That's why you're coming. You're our fucking CP, man.
Yeah. Unless you got some Welsh out with you, some locals. You need to try and get some locals to take you out as their guests.
Go on, because I'll take the piss. I'll set one. Whose code is that? I don't know. Fucking out smashed in.
I've been in quite a few circles in some of these small Welsh villages before, where we've had to literally fight in the whole village, like fucking support company, 3-para, fucking 4-tonner at the back, fucking throwing blokes onto it and literally fighting blokes as we were fucking driving off.
There's a reason we brought you on the podcast, pal. You're coming down.
Get all your martial arts mates to come and donate.
We're providing you. We'll provide you the fucking Bedford down and a fucking basher. And happy days, mate.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to touch on before we close off? Any more promotional things? Maybe a shout out or whatever.
No, not really. Only to you guys, really. Well done with what you're doing, bringing the vets together, putting the word out. You both worked really hard on it as well, which needs some recognition, I think. So obviously you just met yourselves today. I know Ricky. I've been following him for a good year or so now. I had a few DMs and that. He sent me a couple of dick pics. I've just tried to ignore, but but you're putting together some great content, and it's good what you're doing and your intention. So you deserve every success you can get, guys.
I'll take that.
Well, appreciate that, and it's been a pleasure having you on, mate. Do you know what? I didn't know your background or nothing. You like I say, you could have done 6 weeks. I just trusted that you're wearing a suit. I thought he's wearing a suit. He looks a respectable citizen. Get him on.
You just soon picked that and found out I was a Walt. It's quite easy.
I was like a parrot wearing a fucking suit. He's a Walt.
But yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, cool. Cheers for watching.